All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do for this podcast episode. It's going to feel a little bit different, but I would love your feedback. If you like this style of a podcast, maybe every once in a while, like it, share it with a friend, share it with a team member that you feel like might benefit, an agency that you know, like share it with somebody, but then also just like it, comment. Like I need to know if you like this type of a content. But basically what I'm going to do is over this next podcast, I've got a bunch of different 2 to 3 minute, some 5 minute, just short pieces of content that cover kind of one topic or one thing that I've learned or just one little bit of value, but there's going to be a lot of those. So let me know again if this is something that you like, and I will do more of these, but enjoy. Stop treating your pivots as something that are completely separate than just practice or role play. Just mesh the two. Start treating your pivots like practice. Because when you do that, it's like no big deal. You start communicating confidence and certainty to people without communicating desperation, because it's like no big deal. But maybe you're making it a bigger deal than it actually is because you're treating practice and the actual pivoting so separately. When you mesh them, watch what happens. Watch what happens. When in doubt, keep it simple. Don't over-explain things. Just keep it simple. Maybe pick a couple benefits that would make a lot of sense for that specific situation, that specific family, and just go with those. Don't feel like you need to share every single benefit or every single detail to be able to sell this or feel good about it, right? Like just cater a few benefits of that policy, of that product to that specific customer and their situation, and keep it simple. Sales is tough, guys. At the end of the day, it's not easy. Kudos to you guys for being willing to just go out there and basically get your teeth punched in. Like, it's tough, but I'll tell you, it doesn't hurt as bad when you get punched all day long, or when you take a lot of punches, like the punches stop hurting. So if you're feeling maybe a little pain from being told no or being rejected, just know that it gets better. The more you do it, the less you're gonna care. I think that's my first message. But my second message is you're gonna have times when those insecurities, those thoughts, those limiting thoughts creep in. It's bound to happen. It will continue to happen. And if we give energy to those thoughts, they will become more real. But the cool thing is that you are not your thoughts. Just you're the observer of your thoughts, and you get to decide if you give them energy or not. It's just a thought. It's not your identity unless you make it your identity. But that is a big mindset skill that anyone that is producing at a high level in sales has developed and is developing, is the ability to align with thoughts and give energy to thoughts that fuel possibility, and to give less energy to thoughts that tell you that you're not good enough, that tell you how it's going to be impossible, that tell you that, oh yeah, things are good right now, but all of those things are just thoughts. You get to identify with the thoughts that are going to serve you the most. Develop the mindset of becoming the observer of your thoughts. Any off time that I have during the day, I find myself almost gravitating to want to listen to an audiobook around something around sales, something around mindset, something around developing some skill, learning how to communicate, learning how to think bigger, learning how to be more abundant, right? Like I'm trying to feed my mind full of knowledge, and I'm gravitated to that knowledge. And I've thought about that a lot. It has become part of my routine that I am feeding my mind full of knowledge as often as I can. I've been using AI to learn because knowledge for me is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And in sales, it's extremely powerful because you get to unlock your earning potential when you develop skills. You can learn how to sell more life insurance as a team member and completely unlock your earning potential by learning how to do it, learning these skills. That's why I love knowledge so much, is that it really is the key to opening the door to your life completely changing. At least that's been my experience. But consume knowledge. Find time to consume knowledge. I don't know, like make time. Like I've never really had to make the time because I've been gravitated to that. It's just become what I do. But it wasn't always that way. It was until I cared that I wanted something different with my life that I really dove in, and I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I would spend an hour or two reading, consuming knowledge. I would meditate. I would, I'd go through my affirmations that I had. I had this very strict morning routine early on as a team member because I wanted something more. I wanted more. And I knew that my ability to unlock myself and develop skills would directly correlate to making more. And that's exactly what happened. Outside of learning, the insurance world in the industry and learning how to sell insurance in as a team member, kind of selling off auto and home, holding review appointments, doing all of that. Outside of doing all of that, I learned how to think bigger. I learned and was just exposed to all of this positivity and content around possibility that I started to almost like challenge my current thinking, my beliefs. And some of these beliefs I started to uncover like, holy cow, why do you even believe that? It's not actually true. And when you start uncovering these limiting beliefs and you're thinking bigger and you couple that with action, your life can absolutely change like this. With the right skills, with the right mindset, with the right exposure, with the right strategies, telling you, things can change very quickly for you as a team member right now. You are in an opportunity to make that happen. You're not in a job. You've got a ton of potential. One thing that I've learned is to be less emotional in sales. Take the emotion out of it. Get detached from sales. Just like, don't be emotional in sales. Be logical. It's business. When I learned how to do that, and as I continued to learn to do that, it's like I started to sell more. And it's because I was less emotional about it. I was less attached. And when we're less attached, we communicate in a way that's compelling. Because when we're attached, we're communicating this desperation, and no one likes that. I mean, even in like the girls don't like that, right? They don't like the guy that's like the puppy dog that's jumping on you all the time. They like the puppy dog in the corner, right? Like the one that doesn't notice you. Those are the people that the guys that the girls like. It's the same in sales. People don't want the salesperson that's like the puppy dog jumping on them and it's like, holy cow, like I would never buy anything from you. They want the salesperson that is like, this is no big deal. I'm not emotionally attached to this, but this is a good thing for you and your family. And here's why. What do you think? Guys, I think sometimes we're trying to make this life insurance sell emotional. We're trying to make it emotional. When sometimes some people just don't want to be emotional about it. They might want to be like more logical. That's okay. More practical. I think life insurance, yes, is an emotional sell, but I think it's more of it can be an emotional sell in the right situation. But like in your day-to-day service pivots and calls, like trying to make it emotional too soon, it gets a little weird. And I can see how that would trigger an objection with me, as if we're trying to make it emotional too soon. So anyways, sales and emotion, just don't mix the two. Just become very okay with being detached. Become logical, practical. Think this is business. Keep emotions outside of business. And yeah, maybe that helps. I remember when I was in our MOA office, I had this like epiphany that really changed everything and helped me kind of just take more ownership of basically doing my job. And I was in our MOA office. This was probably like week 1 in our MOA office. And I kind of came from a legacy office that was fairly organic, like a lot of phone calls coming in. Like it was pretty busy. And so I created a lot of opportunity there. But I go to this MOA and it's honestly like crickets. Like the phone hardly rang. It was a smaller book, like it's early stages, but that's the experience that I wanted. Very grateful for it. But coming from this organic agency and now coming to this MOA where it's like slower, I was like super proactive in answering phone calls just because I could create a bunch of opportunities there. And then I didn't have to call outbound. And so I would always pick up these phone calls, but I remember that came with a lot of obviously service calls and a lot of things that I maybe hadn't really learned to do, at least on my own. Because in the legacy office, I was always asking Abby, I was always asking Trace, the office manager and kind of the manager over both the offices. I would always ask them because they were in there. It was so easy to use them as a crutch that I think that hindered my ability to learn. And so there was stuff, I had been a team member, I think 2 years at this point. So like I knew the systems, or at least I should, right? I know the billing stuff, at least I should. Well, I go to the MOA office and because I'm answering all these phone calls, I realized how much I actually didn't know about the service side of things, right? Because I was always just having an Abby or Trace that I could ask. And then I was like, holy cow, like what do I do here? And I remember I had the epiphany and it was this. What in the world does Trace do if he doesn't know? What does Abby do if she doesn't know? They pick up the phone and they call and they figure it out. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I start doing that and I'm telling you, that's when I learned very fast. And it became such a powerful thing for me. Like I didn't have to have this system stuff, all this stuff weighing in my mind day to day, but it allowed me to like, I already knew it. And so then I knew I could focus more on like creating sales opportunities and less on trying to figure all this out. That was really cool. So if you're an office manager or someone that people go to ask questions, instead of just giving them the answers to things, what you can do is you can say, I think I can help, but have you tried anything first? Like put it back on them, make them go out and try it first. And like you're basically conditioning them to basically when something comes up, go figure it out. Like, you can do it. I have access to all the resources just like you do, but sometimes they continue to come to us, and because like we continue to answer them. So they're conditioned to come to us. And it actually ends up hurting the team member because they don't actually put in the work to actually learn and do it themselves. So challenge your new team members, challenge your, other team members when they come to you with a question, always put it back on them first. I'm not saying don't help them, like be efficient and like maintain a good relationship, but like put it back on them first. Make them try to figure it out. There's a lot of power in that. And for you team members that are new, and for those of you that are finding yourself asking all these questions all the time, just take ownership and just start picking up the phone and try to figure it out yourself. You will learn so much faster, and I'm telling you, it will help you sell a lot more. All right, some of y'all might not like this. I gotta say it. The reason your team members aren't selling isn't because you're not training them. It's not because you're not providing resources for them. It's because you're not leading from the front. You're not that person that's setting the tone for your agency. You're not doing it. And this is reflected in, like, I'm doing phone calls with a lot of you agents all day, and there is a clear distinction of why a lot of you are highly successful versus some of you are just struggling to get by. And I think it's this common denominator that is a principle I have seen even outside of insurance with people that are highly successful, people that have built big businesses, people that have a lot of money. And it's that these people make decisions quickly. They make decisions quickly, like they decide. There's something to that. There's something to analysis paralysis. Like, we're just waiting, we're hoping for something to happen. We have to do all of the research to make sure that this is gonna be perfect. Otherwise, oh my gosh. Guys, we're thinking about it the wrong way. We're thinking very scarce. There's something to thinking abundantly. Abundant people make quick decisions. And abundant people, you know what they get? They get more abundance. They get more. And so a lot of you try to make decisions quicker. Because how in the world are you supposed to follow up with a customer that told you I need to think about it when you're telling people I need to think about it all the time? I can't think of the last time that I really said I need to think about it. Like, make decisions quickly. Success loves speed. I feel like gratitude is a very powerful thing that we don't even pay attention to. We don't understand how much it could improve our lives. We don't understand how much it can help our business. We don't understand truly how much it could help our relationship with our spouse, with our kids, with the people that we love. Like, we don't understand how much gratitude can actually help us and can like launch us forward and improve on all levels. I don't think we do. And I'm saying we because I don't think I do either. But what I do know is that when I do focus on gratitude and when I make gratitude just part of who I am and how I'm thinking and what I'm choosing to focus on and be grateful for and choosing to be in detailed with life and with things, I find that when I become more detailed, I become more grateful. And I feel like the way that I've been able to become maybe a little bit more detailed is because I've read books and I've been around people that always talk about gratitude. And I've been exposed to people in my life that choose to focus on the details, that choose to look at the bright side of every situation. People that don't complain, but make the most of each moment. As I've been exposed to more of that and learning more of that, I've started to implement it. And as I've started to implement it, for me, it's not something that was almost patterned to do, right? Like, I haven't always thought, my thinking patterns haven't always been where they are right now. Let's just put it that way. I've had to learn to be grateful. As like shallow as that might sound, like I've had to learn to be grateful. And it's what I found is that by kind of getting into the details of your day in little moments, be detailed in the little moments. When you try to become more grateful, you become more detailed. And I think there's something there. I think that there is something about living in the present moment. And I think a key to that is developing gratitude, developing that muscle to be grateful for everything. I think that almost causes us to live in the present moment. I think there's a lot of power there. But anyways, I believe in the concept of the law of attraction. Whatever you choose to focus on expands. Whatever you think about, you get more of that. And I just believe that that's something that has completely changed the way that I look at life, changed the way that I look at my ability to create and earn, and my ability to have a very fulfilling life of depth with people that I love has allowed me to be intentional with being more present with my kids, which is a huge blessing because there's so much much to be grateful for with kids. Like, these are our people, and they're going through this experience. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff, and so caught up into maybe living to the status quo, or so caught up in trying to get a promotion, or try to please everybody. We get so caught up in our mind and in our head that we miss out on these moments. We miss out on being present. And so there's something there, like gratitude comes when we can focus on being detailed in the present. I believe that. And I believe there's a lot of power outside of just like the overall experience of life. Like, my goodness, but like, you'll make more money. You'll attract more opportunities. You will develop more skills. Like, you will get more of what you want. And then all of a sudden you become that. You are that person. So you get more of it. So even if you're in sales and you're a team member listening to this, or an agent listening to this, like, this same principle applies to the sales role. I believe that. And I believe that the more that we can become that top producer in what they're saying, how they're saying it, how they're thinking, what they're thinking about, how they deal with rejection, better we can be them, the more we will get like they get. So anyways, you guys are awesome. Have a great day. Oh, and one more thing. When things are going well, pile on. This is going to end. If things aren't going like you want them to go, then just keep showing up. This is going to end. That's my last thing.